Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we're here in a episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's playing some card games with me tonight?
Definitely not, but hey, one last time, unless we maybe do the quote-unquote remake DX version of the original Shovel Knight, but steal thy shovel! It is I, Lionheart, again, aka Emanuel.
And it's me, Vincent Goodwin, and I'm going to do the bare minimum of card games, Mike. We're playing like 3 of them, and that's it. That's all we're doing, okay?
Yep, that's about how it went too for me. So we are here. We are finally finishing our Shovel Knight quest that we started 3 years ago at this point.
I looked it up. It's episode 168 of the main series in March 2022. So it has been a 3-year journey, which I will say is faster than it took for Shovel Knight to finish all its DLC. So we are ahead by 2 years.
True.
Good job, us.
That's funny. And this came out in 2019. It was the last part of the Shovel Knight treasure trove that was promised from the Kickstarter, correct?
Promised or accidentally overpromised. But yeah, I think they just kept having stretch goals, and they're like, yeah, we can do another campaign and another one. First game came out in summer 2014, and the last piece of DLC came out in late 2019, along with like a Smash Brothers knockoff, Showdown, which I've never played.
Yeah, it came with this one, and I didn't touch it.
I didn't touch it this time. I did play it back when this DLC came out in 2019.
Mm-hmm. Is it any good?
It was...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I don't even remember. I'm sure the fact was like promised like multiplayer fighter arena or something like that, so they had to deliver something. But like this...
sense. I was wondering why it was there.
Yeah, and this comes after Spectre Knight, which came out at Switch launch. The previous Shovel Knight, which was March 2017. So this was almost more than 2.5 years later that this came out.
That's why I never played it.
I think that it was supposed to release in 2018, and they just delayed it like a year.
Yeah, it felt like that. But then it put itself in like a murderer's row of 2D platformers on Switch is where I played this. Because it was like the fall that like The Messenger came out and the Ukulele 2D platformer. And it was like...
Possible there. Really good.
Yeah, very good games. And you're like, well, I don't know when I'm going to play King of Cards. And then the pandemic happened. And so things, got around to it kind of there. But, like there was just really good 2D platformers. Like the Switch was really coming into its own around this time. And that's also when like Dragon Quest 11 came out there and the Link's Awakening remake. Fall 2019. A lot of good games.
I need to play the Link's Awakening remake. I really do for this podcast.
It's really good.
I'll do it this year. I promise. So, all right, that's neither here nor there. So this game, for those that don't know, it's another campaign of Shovel Knight, but this time you play as King Knight, obviously. And King Knight plays differently. His whole gimmick is that he shoulder dashes, and he can shoulder dash into regular walls and then spin, or he can shoulder dash into an enemy and spin, and that's his gimmick.
He's Wario.
He's Wario, yeah.
I've never played those games, though.
The Wario doesn't have a spin, but it definitely has like a charge like Wario. Does Celeste also have like a charge into walls or something?
It has a charge, but you don't spin off.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't spin off.
Okay.
Celeste is really, really
I don't
good.
know. It would be hard to tell if she's shoulder bashing. So
I mean, she's dashing, but she can stick to walls, but she can't.
That's it. But it definitely is. There's a lot of like the mechanic is a lot of like finding a way to bounce off a wall or things to do things. Whereas like Spectre Knight was a lot of like diagonals. Like you fall and then you either going like diagonally down or diagonally up. And then Shovel Knight's like a bouncy off of things. And then Plague Knight was a lot of like triple bomb jumps, a lot of triple jumps that were kind of wonky and the levels weren't really designed around Plague Knight the way Spectre Knight was like completely redesigned. And then King Knight was also redesigned around his momentum.
You can feel it. I mean, these are all short levels, which I like and I don't like for dumb reasons.
Yeah, so every single show, so like Spectre Knight is like 8 levels long, and then there's like 5 or 6 checkpoints through every level, and then for this game, they decided to split it. Instead of having like 8 6 checkpoint levels, they have like 40 something levels with only 1 checkpoint, and so they're much more bite sized. They feel much more like the Mario 3 to Spectre Knight's Mario World.
Yeah.
So that's why there's so many levels, but at the same time, like they don't have like a huge variety of like level design backgrounds to like match that. Although I think they do I feel like they introduced new level design backgrounds that weren't in the previous games.
It's just the other issue for me is that there are a lot, which is a good and bad thing, is a lot of them are optional. And when you make them optional, Mike avoids them.
Well, especially for like the context of like this podcast, when we're like playing a game or like you're reviewing, like, yeah, I just got to get through this.
And I'm
Whereas,
behind
like,
schedule at the moment.
yeah, but like, if I'm playing, and it's not like they're like branching paths or like levels you go back to. So it's not like Star Fox where like, well, I'll start a new run and then go try the other levels. It's literally like there's
Yeah, I
half the
did the
level I didn't
first-
touch.
So this game essentially broken into 3 different maps. So think of three different worlds essentially. Is the like Mario 3 style where you walk around, choose your levels. What broke me is in the second one, I couldn't beat the card games, therefore I couldn't open a path, and that's what broke me. And once you break me in a game, there's no going back. Like once I skip things, I continue on. Like that's
where
me in games.
Xenoblade 2 was that way. The second I skipped a cutscene, I was never ever going to pay attention to cutscenes ever again.
So that's what YouTube's for.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have time for this, and then I was like, because I didn't have that, I don't care about this, and now I don't care about
And
this,
therefore
and
you
now I
lose
don't.
interest in the game.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I 100% get that. I don't think I even played like all the levels in Mario Wonder because they had optional levels. Should go back, but yeah, I 100%
to later this.
I never
year,
finished that game.
but-
yeah. It's a good Mario game, but like
it's a good Mario game, but I don't know. I think that they could have done better with. I don't know. And let's not get it because
No, that'll be another conversation. But I did learn that I am actually good at platformers, whether I realize it or not.
Yeah,
wow,
Because like 5
years?
playing, this game is hard.
this game is. I don't think it's that hard, and that's because I could beat it. I could beat it, so it can't be that hard. Although that's a lie because
say,
like okay, go ahead.
I'm not good at platformers.
Like going a bit ahead of ourselves. I will say I died a lot in this final boss. Like I had not struggled so much with a final boss in any of these installments of the Shovel Knight saga until this one, and I don't know. It was
You mean
like
the Enchantress fight,
the after Enchantress fight. Because
I did it all
like
first try, which is not me, by the way.
Yeah, the Enchantress, the first part of the Enchantress, but then when it split to that other dude with like the hands and landing on the hands and those kind of things. My kid was sitting next to me. Yeah,
we'll get to it.
I beat him first try somehow.
My kid was sitting next to me and was like, Dad, I didn't realize you were good at video games. Like it was like that kind of like negging, but like
that's cool.
Respect. He's 11 now, and he's like, I didn't realize you were good at video games. Like, yeah, I'm really good at this. But like, I don't think I'm that good at video games. But the 2D platformers are still like and they have a good like momentum of play, and also they let you get back into the game if you die quickly. Because Celeste, I didn't think it was that hard. I remember I was like hammered drunk, and I beat like the entire like first world with like maybe like 20 deaths. And my cousin was like, "Really? Like I had like 500 deaths in Celeste." I'm like, "No, it wasn't that hard. It's fine."
Now the later worlds in Celeste are hard. The first is not too bad, but I thought this game did a good job of like doing the whole video game thingy of here's something that Nintendo does well. You're going to be introduced to something, and you're going to do it again. Now you're going to do it again a little bit harder. You're going to do it a little differently. Like it did a good job of teaching you. Like King Knight was fun to play, and the levels are quick, and there are lots of them, and there's a nice variety. There was just something for me that was missing in it.
I think the fact that we've played now 4 of these,
and
I mean, it's like Mega Man 4. Like
that is a good way to put it.
It's fine, but like you play like I mean, if like Mega Man 2 was like the dip, because like the first Shovel Knight is really good. Plague Knight's kind of like, I don't know about this one. And then Spectre Knight like really like writes the course. And even then you're like, Spectre Knight might be better than Shovel Knight. I really like this. And then King Knight is more of the same, but maybe not just as good as Spectre Knight. Although in some ways it's doing good things. But like, and then like Mega Man, like you're used to the cadence of this. Like, okay, when I beat all these things, even though the level structures are different, there's going to be an Enchantress map. I know this. There's going to be 3 to 4 Enchantress Wily levels, just like Mega Man. And they're going to be fine, and I'm going to do them, and it'll be cool.
There was something about there being so many levels that just felt wrong to me. Like, I barely got any of the artifacts. I got, like, 2.
Yeah.
And, like, they just weren't there.
It is a long game. If you look on how long to beat it, I think it's the longest of the 4 campaigns.
It's
I think it was like a 7.5 hours is what how long to beat said. Mine was like 6.5 hours, which is, again, crazy. I don't know how I beat how long to beat. I never do.
I didn't check my time.
It was like 7 or something. I don't remember.
It felt longer than I wanted to. I mean, one, I was kind of rushing this because I had to beat this and then beat Assassin's Creed. So I was
rushing this?
I was.
I literally did it in one day because I wanted to get rid of it.
I had bronchitis,
3
and this
days.
was a great time. Well, I had bronchitis.
I mean, I had a good time with the game. Like, I don't want to say that I was having a bad time. It was just like I didn't care enough to want to. Like, I didn't feel bad I was missing things. Like, in Spectre Knight, Shovel Knight, a lot of them, I went and got everything because I just wanted to. And this one, I also didn't feel like I could really, like, level up my money easily. Like, money, it wanted a lot of money because it's supposed to be your King Knight, so you're a greedy bastard. But money didn't feel that easy to get. Like it does
the powers didn't particularly seem as interesting. I kind of like locked into the mouse bomb one, and I'm like, I don't need anything else. And I had a suit that basically like every time I fell in pits, I didn't die. I just lost a few pieces of health.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't need another suit ever again. We're good. And then there were like the power ups that showed up like a little later, and that was it. But I didn't feel like the need to go and collect all 8 different powers and those kind of challenge levels the way the previous campaigns were. I 100%.
Well, in the previous campaign, they were just along the level that you were already in and exploring, where for these, there's side levels that are completely optional.
Right.
Also, this has a lot of story, and I don't know if I was in a rush or I just did not give a shit about King Knight's story.
I didn't give a shit either.
Even the first time?
Yeah, even the first time. The thing that I liked probably the most out of all of this was the other king, that the King Pridemore hitting on his mom. I think that was like the best thing out of all of this. Like the rest, I didn't care. I didn't give a shit about King Knight or whatever, because King Knight's he's not a likable character. Like he's just a selfish bastard. So it's like, whatever. He'll get his ass beat by Shovel Knight.
His whole goal
doesn't have
is
any
just
redeeming qualities.
To win all the card games, become the king, and then like I like the mother interaction in the beginning when she calls him Prince Knight. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, and he was like King Knight.
I mean, he just seemed like a spoiled brat. That's how he came off to me. I mean, he is.
Yeah, but like not full of himself the way like Plague Knight was, or Spectre Knight was kind of like an anti-hero. So like all the heroes of Shovel Knight have been kind of like, I don't know if I like these guys, because I guess you're playing the villains. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, it makes sense.
It felt like I felt repetitive. I felt like I trodden this ground before.
I don't know. There was just something with the levels that just didn't do it for me. There was a weird feeling.
Yeah, I understand you. I think that it's something that, it's probably hard to explain on words, but it's like, if you play it, you'll understand that if you've played all of these, and then you'll understand like why this one feels kind of odd. And it does settle down towards the level design. I think that's like, yes, again, these levels are catered to this character. It's not like Plague Knight, where the levels were not made.
Yeah, they just made it work
with his playset.
Yeah,
this one was because the stages changed, but I do think that it was kind of a miss to divide levels into so many levels. Like, I mean, it's also advantageous because you can skip a lot of them. Like we said, like to get to the last king, to the bird one, you can take like 2 routes. There's like the upper route or the lower route. And for a lot of them, I think that you can do that. So it's like, I just went with one route, the one that I saw that was like the fastest one to get through, and just went for it.
I think I saw some like treasure house or some like guy on the menu on the map that I wanted to go fight, and that's how I picked.
I went the lower route because I hate the Propeller Knight guy. I forgot his name.
Propeller Knight? Propeller King?
That actually was his name? Okay. I hate his levels. So I saw him and I'm like, I ain't going there. Skip it. I'm skipping those.
Interesting.
Well, those are always the hardest for me in all the regular campaigns. I don't like. I think I had to do a little bit. The game still forced me to, but I know I don't think maybe I fought him. I don't remember, but I know I went down and maybe I went up a little bit. But I did skip a couple nights. I remember in the end I saw Plague Knight on the map and I just went, that's nice, and just avoided him because there was no point. I was like, what's the point of killing you? I don't care.
I'm pretty sure that the only one that I fought was, I think Tinker Knight was the only mandatory one. Because Spectre Knight, you have to obligatory fight him twice.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And Tinker Knight, I did face him because I found him on the map and whatever. But other than that, I don't think that I fought any of the other knights.
I fought most of them. If they were walking around on the map like the Hammer Bros in Mario 3, then I was going to fight them. Although one of them
at first
got into a part of the map, like Mario 3 when you fight them and then you lose and then they wander off to a part of the map you can't access. So I had to go mop up Tinker Knight a little later. I 100% wanted to kill him, though. I did want to.
The Plague Knight and Tinker Knight were farther away in a place that I didn't do yet, so I just left them and went.
Yeah, see, I never liked Plague Knight's aesthetic. That was those.
Yeah, I didn't want to fight him though in this. Also, this game has levels have multiple exits, and I don't like that personally because then I have to look up stuff and watch videos, and I was not in the mood to watch videos for this game. So if I got it, I got it. If I didn't, I didn't. I just moved on.
Right. I definitely like this is the fourth of my, Shovel Knights. Like, the typical Shovel Knight is like you walk through the path, but then you're like, it kind of looks like there might be a secret path over there in a secret room that might kill me. And I had this game had no interest in going to those. I think probably because they were like emblems, but the emblems, like purchasing them, like didn't give me like enough interesting stuff. So I'm not gonna even bother with.
You can also farm the emblems. I think from the card game.
I don't think so. I think that if you beat them once, you just get it.
Okay,
by beating a goat person, like he's responsible for one emblem in the entire game.
Okay, I thought
there's there's a counter like out of 127 or something on that.
Oh, okay, never mind then. It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I hated the card game so much, so I didn't mess with them because I like card games. Marvel Snap has proven that I like card games.
There are good card games. Trails of Cold Steel, Blade game, Trails of Cold Steel, Vantage Masters game. Queen's Blood is the best card game in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Triad Master.
I don't mess with any of those. I love Yakuza, but I'm not touching
Triple Triad, but I prefer Queen's Blood. Anyway,
I'm not touching a card game in Yakuza. I'm not touching Gwent in Witcher.
It depends on like your timing and who you are. Like back in the day when I had plenty of time, like sure I might, you only have so many games, but in something like this, I just was like, I don't understand this stupid game, and I don't want to understand it.
It's also a card game, but it's like a weird like block pushing card game, and I am not good with like block pushing. Like those spatial games, like if you move this, then it'll move this way. And I'm like, I'm whatever, like my brain has never been able to figure those out. And I was like, I will do the bare minimum to like muscle my way through these. And then I'm never touching Joustus again. Because
you only have to win a couple matches, I think. I won more than I had to.
Apparently, I looked it up because I was like, okay, do I actually have to do this shit? And I looked it up. You don't even have to do the tutorial. Or maybe you need to do the tutorial. You do the tutorial.
That's only like a 2x2 chip puzzle. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yes, and then you go to the left where the rope is, and you get the hell out of there, and you never have to play that game ever.
Oh, I didn't realize. I did more than I had to because I beat the first complete zone.
There was like a town. There was like a town of everybody, and then I didn't beat the boss. I think in that building, and then I played some Joustus, but I was not particularly interested in it. So
the other thing that I want to make sure we mentioned that it did differently here is you get hearts throughout the battles. As you hit enemies and bosses, they will drop hearts. So you can stay alive a lot longer by doing that.
I feel like that's part of the game, just saying like, fuck it. We know this is the fourth one. You're kind of just a tourist here at this point.
I think it was more of you don't have a way to heal otherwise. Not really. Like you have a stupid hammer that if you hit them right, they'll generate hearts. Yeah. It's just, there's something about with this was different than compared to like Shovel Knight, where there was a lot more skill involved in the way that he played.
He's a clumsy character, y'all. You were talking about like he doesn't feel like I think Spectre Knight is the best. Like that has that flow state that you create. Like when you're like there'll be like a bunch of like lanterns like across like a line or bubbles or something floating up, and you're like, and it just feels good. It feels great. And the same with Shovel Knight, like you bounce, like you pogo stick off of like bubbles, like pow, pow, pow. And I'm not sure. I think it might slightly be that King Knight often when you're bouncing backwards. Like so you charge and then you go backwards. And I think that doesn't like just like fundamentally feel good. Like you crash into a wall, but then you got to go backwards to bounce on something and then go forward. And that doesn't feel good, like as opposed to like a pew, pew, pew.
Plus, you're relying so heavily on your environment.
Yeah.
I think with King Knight, because you have to bounce off and he spins, but if you don't hit anything with the spin, then it's over. And like sometimes
you can't charge again until you've bounced off of something off of your spin.
I mean,
I think your brain forgets that. Like,
my brain didn't like it
a lot of times.
Like it's like you charge, you crash into something. Then you're spinning, but you can't charge again in air until you bounce off of something, and then you can charge. I mean, and I think that, I absolutely forget that half the time.
And sometimes it worked really well, but sometimes it just felt ugly. And I'm like, this is really hard, and I don't understand the puzzle the game is trying to tell me. Because Shovel Knight just feels so good with the way he played from what I remember. I mean, it's been 2022. It's been a while. But
Spectre Knight felt so good. I think Spectre Knight is like that. You're just like, man, you're like, phew.
That was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've done. I don't know exactly when. I think we've done these last 3 within the last 12 months.
Yeah, no, it was last year for sure. We did for Spooktober.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, okay. It's Plague Knight was the first. We did Plague Knight.
Like a year later or so. I don't know. It's been a bit.
It's been a journey for these Shovel Knights. I'm glad that we did this because I honestly did not beat King Knight. I kind of lost interest.
I don't blame you.
Like, I mean, I fundamentally think like it is a good idea to make the levels smaller. For me, I do not like playing a game where it's like you're about to play a 20-minute level. I don't like that. I feel like I have to gear myself up because a lot of my game playing is like when my kid is going to sleep, she's falling asleep, and I'm like, okay, I guess tonight we're playing a whole Spectre Knight level. Whereas at least with King Knight, I'm like, okay, well, I can get like through 2 or 3 of these levels, you know. But at the same time, my brain is also like, you just beat 2 or 3 levels. That's a lot. Maybe you need to take a break, Vince. Like, this is too much. Even though it was the same amount of time, like I feel like tired when I beat like 3 or 4 levels. Just like the logical break and then going back to the map. Like I don't feel like I'm like motoring through things. And part of that's because it's a map. If it was like I was playing like in ++ and it was just like a list, like a checklist thing, I'd be like, we beat a bunch of levels. But I don't know if I like it being short. I think I do. But then it feels like there's too much of it at the same time.
It did feel like too much. I would have rather just had how Shovel Knight and the rest of them do it. I think it was hard for me because it's such a different than what we had.
Yeah.
I'm also watching the 100% speed run of it, and man, those abilities nice that I didn't have.
Yeah. What abilities?
Well, one, he like dashes across the map. I didn't have that.
Oh so yeah, there was like one that you were like, oh, you can have like a better dash or something. I'm like, I don't need that. I'm good.
It looks nice. One was like he was shooting some like yellow beams at enemies, so you have to get in his face. Like one thing nice is it does have a lot of unique bosses in this game.
I'm surprised how unique it is, considering it's the 4th DLC and it's recycling like backgrounds. How much shit they added for this one, which I feel like they didn't need to do, but also that's why maybe it took 2.5 years. Because I was texting you guys like pictures of like new mechanics, and like they have like like the piranha plants in the Mario games that like you hit with a fireball and they like go backwards. Like they have those kind of things in this game. And I'm like, that's not in the other ones. They made that's bespoke for this game. Okay.
They did a lot for King Knight. They really did.
There's like a portal thing where like the ground you fall like a pack. The tornadoes are crazy. Yeah, you like it's like portal. Like you jump through one tornado, like a pink tornado, and you land in another pink tornado. But I'm also talking about like the Pac-Man walls where like you come in one side and you fall out the other side. And so, like, you're constant. There's a level, like, really late in the game.
It's the Enchantress Tower.
It's in the Enchantress.
I feel like the back half of the game, they introduce a lot of new mechanics. That's like, oh, this is way more interesting. Like, if I had seen that in 2019, I didn't even get to there. If I had seen that in my initial playthrough, I'd probably be more affectionate towards it, but I never got there. I was like, this is very repetitive. And then the new stuff is all late.
That last Enchantress level, I didn't think I was going to be able to do it without going to go get the blue bubble, because there's a blue bubble that you can float, and I watched a video of what they do, and they literally just float the top of the screen and just keep doing that until the screen goes to the top. But what I had to do, since I didn't have that, was bounce off a lantern that then goes through one wall, teleports the other side, bounce off birds, and when I get it, I scream, yes! So...
The funny thing about the blue bubble thing is that is 100% a reference to Wario Land as well. Like,
you still haven't done Wario Land for this show, right, Mike?
No, I only done Wario Land 1 and 2.
I really wish you did at least 3 and 4. 2, 3, and 4. The first one, I've never.
I like that one. That's the one I played a lot. I played more of that one than any of them.
I've played 2, 3 is like one of my favorites, and
that's
4.
the Metroidvania, right?
4 is the Metroidvania, yes.
No, 4 is the one that's like Messenger, where you like have to go back through the level, like you beat it, and then you have to run back to the entrance. It's like lava or some shit, right?
No, that's Wario Land Shake It on the Wii.
Okay,
yeah.
I need to play Wario Land someday. It's on I don't do a lot of Mario games for this show for some weird reason. I've done very, not a lot.
Man, if you play Wario Land 3, you'll realize with the final boss of that game, it's the exact same final boss as this game.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Like, this one is the final boss of this game is like a mix between that final boss of Wario Land 3 and the the final boss of Mega Man X1.
Oh yeah,
when
there's a lot of like
Sigma
hands
fuses with.
Yeah, and you land on hands and hand platforms, and they rise you up 100%. Yes, that's probably why I was like, "This is easy," because I played a lot of the PSP Maverick Hunter X.
I was just again.
game.
I started the game on Monday and I ended it on Monday, so I was probably also like very tired, and I was like, I just want to get through this.
No, I get it. And you've beaten it before, though. I mean, you played this back when it came out,
Yeah.
I'm sure. So
I streamed it when it came out. So
Yeah, nice. I really do like this game. I got ahead of myself.
I'm
Mike, yeah, put me down for like any like Wario Lands. I played 1 and 2. I've not played 3, and I played a teensy bit of 4, but not Shake It. I love Wario Land 1, aka Mario Land 3.
Because I know what our next game is, so maybe we'll make that game after.
If Mike puts Wario Land, let's just make it this team again.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you got it.
We
essentially played a Wario Land, I guess, huh? So
yeah.
I don't know. There's just, I mean, there were times I did have fun. Like I was enjoying this game. I mean, I think that had I not been in a rush, or had I played this back in the day, like when I first got Shovel Knight, I played through Shovel Knight. I didn't like Plague Knight. I beat Spectre Knight. I would have played this, and I probably would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But when I'm in a rush and I'm feeling behind, I don't know. There's just something about this that just.
It's weird. I agree. I also think that when I finished this game, I was like, do I like this better than Spectre Knight? Maybe. And I don't know why I thought that. Because like with a couple weeks separation, I'm like, no, of course Spectre Knight's better. I think Spectre Knight's my favorite of the 4
I think it's just the fact that it does so many different things and that it's a very, very unique game. But like when you don't have the special abilities like I'm watching right now, I mean, it's God, these special abilities make this game trivial compared to like what I went through, like having to bounce off things and time everything and like.
I think oppositely, I'm like, this is what Wario Land should have been. Like, this is like a logical extrapolation of like the Game Boy and Virtual Boy Wario Land. Like, these are new, cool mechanics that make him feel better, that actually give him like legit platforming as opposed to more combat exploration. Like Wario Land is one of those games that I played like a ton on the original Game Boy along with Donkey Kong 94, which I was on the show about a month ago.
And also on NSO now at the time of this recording.
I know, let's fucking go. But yeah, I played a lot of Wario Land, so this feels very fun and familiar. I don't feel like he creates that flow state for the movement. But like the level design is still very interesting. I think the back half of the game is way better than the front half of the game.
Yes, I'll agree with you on that too. Because they do a lot of new mechanics and they really do make you learn Shovel Knight style.
Yeah, King Knight style. Yeah,
King Knight. I mean, he really has a unique style. Like, and that's one thing that's impressive, that how all different these characters are. Like, it really is impressive.
Yeah,
and that 3 of the campaigns really feel designed for the character you're playing at.
It's very weird that they simultaneously, like, it feels very repetitive, like structure wise and like design and background and music wise. But at the same time, like they created like basically like 3 bespoke games, but then they call them DLC. It's very weird. I think
it's more of just they had to because of the commitment that were made. Like I don't think they could have been like, oh, this is a brand new game, because
they could have done a lot less bullshit. Like how they're basically what the new Shovel Knight whatever Deluxe is. It seems like it's going to be like Shovel Knight, but you can play as other characters, which is probably what they should have done in the first place.
Yeah, but I think they I mean, when you promise stuff, you have to fulfill. You should. Yeah, like Ready Number 9's come out in 3DS someday, right?
Exactly. You should.
I think Amazon finally refunded people for
they did, yeah,
3DS
recently, and people were upset. I'm like, guys, it's never coming. Like, why are you upset at this point? Like, you should be like, oh, cool, okay, whatever. Like,
$30 back. That inflationary wise is not as much as it used to be 10 years ago when I gave it to Amazon. Great times, but that's okay.
I mean, I did spend a lot of gold in this game on cards, thinking that was important, and I kind of regret that now, because I could have used it on upgrades instead of stupid cards, because I thought the card game was mandatory, so I'm buying cards so I can have better cards, so I can, win, not realizing that, no, it's not mandatory. And then you lose cards. When you lose a card game, they steal your cards.
Yeah, I never played Magic that way. If people were taking cards or Pogs, I was like, fuck this, I'm not playing with you.
I mean, did anybody actually play Magic that way? Like, real... Like, I mean, I want to think of a digital card game, sure, but who the fuck is playing a real card game and go, okay, what they do, pull out a gun, give me your card now, buddy.
We're going to play for keeps. Your Shivan Dragon is mine, Mike.
Here out in the streets, we play cards for keeps, baby.
Like, I just never, I would never do something like that. And I know it happens to people. I've heard stories of kids getting ripped off. I mean, it's essentially just stealing from people that don't realize what you're doing.
mean, I know, I know of people who have like played, the Pokemon TCG and shit, and they are like, it's for keeps. So if you lose, I'll get a card. So
My mom would not let me play with kids like that. She's like, you don't.
No, I mean, I just like collecting cards. So the last thing I want to do is lose a card. Like, I never play the games to be competitive. I just like collecting cards.
I never even played the games. I just like looking at the cards. So
I mean, that's what Pokemon was. Pokemon was just, I played a few matches, but it really was just collecting cards because I like Pokemon.
That's how I am with the Pokemon phone game. Like my son is playing like actively like building decks and shit, and I'm just like, we're gonna get that Celebi. I want it. I want to fill out the Pokédex.
And that's fine for Pokemon. Like, I play a lot of Marvel Snap, and I mean, one of my goals is do all the missions and do whatever the game asks me to every day, but really it's just, I just want to get all the cards. I just enjoy collecting characters.
Yeah, that's why I think the brilliance of Pokemon is that there is like a high level like battling mode to it, and then there's just I want to collect them all. I want all the animals. I want to check them all off on my list. And that's the brilliance of it, because that's the way I play. I don't give a shit about the battles. Like, if it was straight up just, like, collect them all. And that's why I liked Pokemon Legends Arceus, because it was like, fill out the Pokédex and learn all about these Pokemon by, like, using this move 10 times or catching 10 of them. And I'm like, I will do that. That's
great. Better. I don't like catching all the Pokemon in Pokemon. I never do it. I only catch who I want.
No, I catch everybody. That's my goal. I catch everybody I can.
For Arceus, I did catch everyone. So
yeah. Arceus' Pokédex is brilliant, by the way. If that's not on your list, too, that's a long game, though, Mike. But
it's not on my list at all. I mean, I don't play Switch games because I have to pay full price for them. So,
Switch piracy is not great yet.
I will mess with. I will not do piracy for something that I can buy brand new. Now, when it comes to a title that system that's dead, and the only way to get a game is where you won't sell it to me, then I have no qualms. But no, I would not mess with Switch pirating. I do buy all the Zelda games.
One of the I'm definitely getting off topic here, but some company just revealed that they're making like a DS emulation device, like how Ambernick has all all those companies have like different a ton of different emulation devices. There's a DS emulation device that's gonna be like $70, and it's just like one tall screen. It looks like a 2DS, and I care less about that. I will buy that. I care less about that because I have like the R4 carts and stuff. But that just means the 3DS emulation is probably 5 years off. And then because 3DS are fucking expensive, and so that's the real emulation goal. I
mean, that's what I care about is because there's so much good 3DS stuff and DS stuff that I've never gotten to. Like, that kind of does bring me to a point with this game. I would have enjoyed Shovel Knight more had I had it on my Steam Deck where I could play this, but I'm playing my old PS4 copy, so I got to sit at my TV and play it. And I mean, some people are like, okay, what's the big deal? But for me, because of how busy I am and the way my gaming is, it's very interrupted. Like, if I sit down for an hour and game, that's impressive. Most of my gaming is in like 10-minute chunks. And this is the kind of game where if I could have played on my Steam Deck, I would have just my wife is watching Grey's Anatomy and I'm going to sit with her. Okay, I'm just going to play through a couple levels. Like, I would have kept playing this game, but because I had to sit downstairs in the basement by myself in the PS4, it took away that interest where I didn't really want to do it. So that was part of it too.
I'm definitely playing in the dark while getting my daughter to sleep on either my Steam Deck or my Switch. I played on the Switch this time. I think I played Shovel Knight, on Steam Deck. And then the last two I played on Switch,
But I just never rebought it because I have it on PS4, so I was never felt the. Yeah. But I wish I would have earlier done it. I mean, now there's 0 point, but there was a point at one point. But I'm like, I already own this. I don't need to rebuy this, even though I do buy stuff all the time. But the sale was never right.
Yeah, and they didn't do any console specific cool stuff for these DLCs the way because I think when we talked about Shovel Knight, I think I told you that Kratos is in Shovel Knight for PS4,
and the battle codes are in the Xbox.
Yeah, and then I think there's amiibos in the Switch versions, and there are amiibo abilities, but I didn't I don't have NFC Joy-Con, so I didn't get to check those out on my Switch version. But there definitely are.
I regret not buying those the 3-pack amiibos of Shovel Knight.
I'm looking at them right now. It's a 4-pack. I have
it's a
Shovel Knight. There's 4 of them.
Oh yeah, there's a 3-pack and then Shovel Knight.
There's a gold Shovel Knight.
Yeah,
I have the 3 bosses, or the three campaigns. So I have Spectre, Plague, King, and Shovel Knight, and then Gold Shovel Knight. So I have 5 amiibos.
I only have the normal Shovel Knight, so
Yeah, they are hot. I'm gonna text them to you guys right now because they are.
I
looking
don't buy amiibos much anymore. Like I did see this at a half price books, but they wanted something that I was not paying.
Yeah, they are.
No, I was not. I think they wanted like $50-$60. I'm like, no way. Like I buy enough plastic. I'm not buying this.
yeah.
Well, and these were, I
Oh.
think Yacht Club actually produced them themselves, if I'm not mistaken, or they somehow had to subcontract them. Because no other, I think, there's not many third parties that have amiibos other than like maybe Monster Hunter or the Smash Bros. Amiibos, which I feel like don't count.
No, Smash Bros. Doesn't count because it's all part of the Smash Bros.
Smash Bros. Right?
I
think
do
Monster
buy
Hunter
some.
may be the only one that besides Shovel Knight that has amiibos.
Amiibos. I was always waiting for them to get dirt cheap, and I was going to buy them, and that never happened. So I just buy them. Like when they reprint them now, I buy them. But really, my only collection is Zelda. I buy every Zelda amiibo, and that's it.
Yeah, I have a little Guardian amiibo right now. I have all the Animal Crossing ones because I got most of those pretty cheap. Those are
cheap,
really
yes.
good. And then I have all of the DLC ones except for the Square ones. So I don't have Cloud or Sephiroth or Sora.
I don't have Sephiroth. I don't have Sora, unfortunately.
I do.
But I want Sora. I'm waiting if I ever get lucky and they reprint him in a GameStop, I'll pick him up. But I don't know.
But I have Steve, Min, Byleth, a couple of the Dragon Quest ones, Pyra Mithra, all those guys.
I haven't played Xenoblade, so I didn't care enough to even think about
I
those.
wanted the DLC amiibos for some reason.
You probably play Smash, so I don't have it or want it.
Play Smash.
Oh, okay. I don't have it.
I don't. Yeah, Smash is all right, but yeah, I feel like we're going far afield when we're talking about Smash amiibos.
We are. Wait, amiibos are
Shovel Knight for Smash.
He was never in Smash, was he?
He is in Smash, isn't he?
He's in Smash, but he's not a playable character. So
he's an assist?
Yeah, he is an assist. He goes out and he fucks people up.
Oh, why would he be? Not Nintendo, I guess. Okay.
But if you're an assist trophy, you're not a main character, and Waluigi is an assist trophy.
Yeah, it's because Nintendo is weird about Waluigi, and Nintendo's just weird in general. But one thing I do want to bring up is I kind of talked about the bosses. One, you fight the Pride Mork King in like a giant mech. That was cool. You fight the big red truffle fish, which was not fun because you can die instantly because you're fighting him on a little raft. But it was cool that it was there.
That's what you needed the no death armor.
Farmer.
What does that do for you?
The armor. The one that you got.
Oh, the one that I didn't
but-
have that armor. I thought you said farmer. I was like, farmer? What?
No.
No, yeah, the armor.
Armor makes
Yeah,
no sense.
like I can't handle like insta death or spike deaths. Especially with these. Even though these levels are short, they're still like long enough that like I'm not having insta kills here on this kind of link.
No, I didn't like it because there weren't. I don't know. I mean, it's nice that they're short levels, and apparently they're even really short when you have the abilities to dash across the whole level, like I didn't have. Like hell, I'm watching the speedrun and he's dashing up. That would have been nice to have that ability to do that. I didn't buy it from whoever.
Oh, I know what that. Okay.
I know it's from like because I wasted all my money on fucking cards like an idiot. So I thought the card game was mandatory, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get cards because I need to have cards so I can play this game and get through it, and then not mandatory. So yeah, I was not really happy about that. I think that kind of turned me off too. Was a stupid card game. That the fact that like I wasted so much gold and I just didn't feel like grinding levels to get more gold. And I died a lot. I died a lot as King Knight.
I died a lot, but it was the final boss. So
Yeah,
I died
a lot in the Enchantress levels as I tend to do, but I feel like it were definitely less frustrating than Plague Knight. I was like, fuck this game. And there was no boss rush, so that was nice too.
That was nice. It wouldn't have fit with the story. So this takes place essentially before Shovel Knight.
All the DLCs do, don't they?
Plague
yeah,
Knight
they'll do.
takes place during it, doesn't it?
Oh, you're right.
Plague Knight's like an alternate universe.
Oh, like a what if type thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because if you try to fit it into the canon,
work.
it doesn't. No, it doesn't work. Spectre Knight does, and this does as well.
Maybe because Plague Knight they weren't thinking of it when they wrote it, and also they didn't.
Yeah,
they just
probably.
kind of like here you go, like, here's the game. Where Spectre Knight, King Knight, we said like really feel like brand new made campaigns for those characters.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the other thing I really like about Spectre Knight is like it's like this is the third one. Let's just make this real lean. There's no map to walk through. There's no town to walk through. It's just like here's the line. Pick a level you want to go to. And I kind of lack that. I like that like lack of personality. Mario Galaxy 2 did the same thing. Like you had like Mario Galaxy 1, you have like a little hub world. You jump around. You have to go fucking find your worlds. It's kind of bullshit, but it's fine, right? And then Mario Galaxy 2 is like, just pick it from a list. I don't give a shit. And that's what like Spectre Knight did. And so going back to not picking from a list felt like, this is tedious. Why are we doing this? I thought we streamlined this stuff.
Yeah, there was something missing in a weird way like that. I don't know.
I don't want to go find somebody to talk to them to play a Joustus game. This is
too many. I had too many options. I think that was also my problem. I don't like all these options. I don't want to have all this giant map of levels to mess with or not mess with. Oh, one of the new things they added with the snakes that you can hit the snakes and then they move different ways. Like ride a snake at one point. There was some fun stuff. Okay, I skipped a lot of levels, but I apparently did a decent amount of levels. 100% speedrun. I'm like, okay, I did a decent amount of these.
It's a fun game. I really like it. I also simultaneously this felt a little tedious. It felt a little repetitive. I'm kind of done, but at the same time, I enjoy this. I think it felt comfortable, but also like I've done this a lot. I think that was pretty much my feeling.
That it boils down to that.
That's why it just feels like Mega Man 4. Like it's nothing wrong with it explicitly.
You also don't.
I've done this.
There's not a lot of talk about this campaign. Like when I Googled it and looked on YouTube there's not much about it. There's there's not a lot of reviews about this one. There's just very little about this particular game compared to
again, it's what Vincent said. It came out at a time where there were a lot of other really good 2D platforms like The Messenger and all that. So it's like,
still, you think people would still it's been over 5 years. You think people would still make content for it? But I don't know. Maybe I'm a different content creator.
And I feel like it's 2.5 years after the last one. Like, I felt like it took a long time to get to Spectre Knight, but I feel like the time difference between Shovel Knight and Spectre Knight is the same distance as Spectre Knight to this. So it's like, why were we taking so long for this? And then it's just in there's a lot going on in fall 2019. Like in terms of, and even PS4 and them are having good games coming out because the end of the generation and we're gearing up for Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us Part 2, in just a few months. It's a great time for indie platformers and then just big games in general. I think it just got lost. Yeah.
I don't know.
Did it come out in December too? Did it come out at Christmas?
It came out in December.
Yeah.
Okay. I just always find it weird when there's things like this that I feel are more known that when there's not a lot of content creation about it. I get it for some of the games I do in the show, like Blood Will Tell, for example. There was there wasn't a whole lot. I wasn't surprised, but something like this, you think there would be more because this is a big series that people talked about. But
December 10th is when it came out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just one thing I always think of. It's one thing I always
weird that is interesting that it doesn't have as much cultural. I mean, but it is the fourth campaign. Even if you were a fan of Shovel Knight, this is you're not gaining new fans as the DLCs go on. It's a smaller and smaller piece every time.
Yeah.
And I feel like hipsters or just cool people are that's Spectre Knight though. That was pretty good. So,
yeah, I mean, when you look at it, everyone just talks about either the original Shovel Knight or Spectre Knight. Nobody really. And if they talk about Plague Knight, it's obviously we did to kind of bash on it. So
well, we did it because I'm a bit of a particular to finish things.
You wanted to say another word that would incriminate you.
Thief? No, I didn't want to say thief. What are you talking about? I wouldn't use that.
A thiefinist?
I'm not a thiefinist, no.
Yeah. But yeah.
But yes, I did. Yes.
But I don't know. It is weird. I think that even back in 2019, I was excited because I'm a Shovel Knight fan, obviously, but it wasn't oh, okay, hey, more Shovel Knight. It was more of that, hey, it's more Shovel Knight. Let's go. And then it was yeah, it was all right. It's not as good as Spectre Knight or the original Shovel Knight, but hey, it's better than Plague Knight.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a good campaign. As much I know we've been bitching a little bit off and on, but
oh, yeah.
I was still very impressed by this campaign.
Yeah, I don't want people to get the wrong impression, if we don't, it's a bad game or anything.
We're just we're burned out as part of it.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, none of us were in a good state of mind trying to beat this.
No, I mean, but even in 2019, I was kind of this is fine, but I have no urgency.
Yeah.
Which I think, and I don't know what would have changed that. I don't know if that's where you need the 16-bit upgrade or what would make it or if it was a new Shovel Knight 2, if I would have felt the same way or this is repetitive. It just felt like I've done this several times and I've liked it several times, but I don't care as much this time. That's how I felt about Spider-Man 2 PS5, by the way.
I think it's burnout. I think it's really what it is. It's just burnout.
It might be burnout, but again, I also feel like I'm just more inclined to just play the original Shovel Knight and Spectre Knight instead of playing this and Plague Knight.
That's true too.
I'll never play Plague Knight again in my life.
No, but yeah, but if I was gonna sit down and say it's been 2 years since I played a Shovel Knight, I'm gonna play Shovel Knight or Spectre Knight. I think Emanuel's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's nothing wrong about King Knight. It's just that's what I'm gonna play. I would rather.
It's you have strawberry ice cream and chocolate ice cream, and then here you also have cherry ice cream. Still good. I don't know, I had cherry ice cream. I don't know where that came from, but like you're like, I don't know if I want that. I already have this. Like it's that kind of idea. So
yeah, I already had this, and it's been long enough since it tastes. That's the same way I feel about both Pocket Dungeon and Shovel Knight Dig. I'm like, there's nothing
is there
explicitly wrong
any
with this.
reason for me to ever buy those
I
and cover them, Emanuel?
completely forgot about Pocket Dungeon and Dig.
Or I can skip them.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's also crazy. I don't know what happened with this IP that like I love it, and then I just completely forget the 2 games.
I was so excited too for Shovel Knight Dig because one of my favorite Metroidvanias is SteamWorld Dig.
Yeah.
And like those 2 games, they are Metroidvanias, but they're also roguelite. And I'm not really into roguelites, but that one's like I really liked it.
SteamWorld Dig was like a perfect weekend. Dig 1 was like it's like a perfect.
I need
weekend.
to play that someday.
Dig 2,
Dig 2. I think Dig 1 is randomized, maybe, but
no, both of them are randomized.
And Dig 2 is really good. They're both really good. Dig 2 is a lot longer.
They're both really good, but
I like an idea of a good weekend game. That sounds really nice.
And they're short. They're not really long.
That's all nice too.
And then Dig is like is a roguelike, right? I play it.
It's a roguelite.
When I Dig, yeah.
I was watching something about it.
Roguelite elements. I just didn't really. I don't know. I didn't get that much into it. I did beat it. I think that there are like safeguards, so you don't like be constantly losing that as much. But I don't know. It didn't. I didn't like it as much. And Pocket Dungeon, I played some of it, and it was not what I expected.
That's the puzzle game, right? Pocket Dungeon?
It's the puzzle game, and I also that one I didn't like. Honestly,
Okay.
I didn't even beat that one. So it's like
okay. So then I know not to bother. Okay,
but both of those games are not made by Yacht Club. Like it's not developed by Yacht Club.
Yeah,
Basically, someone else did those 2. They are like published by Yacht Club, obviously because it's their IP. Shovel Knight is their IP, but it's not developed by them.
Yeah, and Pocket Dungeon has that same feeling that like this is like a puzzle game, but like Joustus, like I don't grok this game. I don't get it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
What are they working on now?
Mina the Hollower, which we've been talking about since our first Shovel Knight episode, which was 3 years
They're
ago.
still working on that?
Yeah,
They're
which is
still
supposed to
working
be
on
like
that.
a Link's Awakening clone.
Yeah, it was a mouse. I remember seeing.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
They were doing some publishing though, because they published Cyber Shadow, which I think also came out in 2019 or 2020. That was like a ninja game.
That came out in 2020 or 2021. I didn't
like that one that much either.
I didn't like that game either. Don't worry. I was kind of expecting it to be more of like the messenger, leaning towards the messenger, and it was not that. I think that a better game, a better game than Cyber Shadow, in my opinion, is Vengeful. God damn it, something Vengeful Moonrider. I forget the full name. It's also like a very Mega Man clone with like Shinobi and all that.
Vengeful Guardian Moonrider? I've not heard of this.
That's the one. Yes, that's the one. That's a much better Cyber Shadow, in my opinion.
Interesting.
I like that one much more than Cyber Shadow. Still holds nothing on the King, which is the Messenger to me.
You need to play the Messenger one day. I know you've been talking about it for a while, Manuel. But you haven't seen the schedule, Manuel, but I am this year with things you wanted me to cover, so I'll say that.
Good. It's about damn time. But yeah, Yacht Club, like there was also like the promise, and I think that I talked about this in one of the other episodes. Like they were teasing that they may be doing like Shovel Knight 64 or something like that. But I don't know.
That'd be nice. I wouldn't mind a new Shovel Knight thing now that this has been done for 5 years. Like I wouldn't mind it.
But they're starting to like get into the level 5 territory of like, oh, we announced this thing and we haven't released it and we're delaying it again. Like, level 5 has like 16 different projects and they are all delayed.
Oh, okay, that's
being the most interesting one, and that one keeps getting delayed every year.
See, I don't pay attention to anything that's coming because that's not who I am as a gamer. So I don't even like. And the only thing that I know that's never coming is the Silk Song game that people get all excited about. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. Like, whatever. Like, it'll come someday.
Why do
I know
we
it'll
have
happen
to
someday.
I
I have a Hollow Knight perler bead that my friend made for me nearby when I beat Hollow Knight.
Oh, Silk Song, my beloved.
I love Hollow Knight, but I'm like, you know what? That game was hard as hell. I'm good.
Yeah,
I want to play it.
The thing is that in because it's been so long, because Hollow Knight came out in 2017, I think. So it's been like what, 8 years now, and there's some at least very good Hollow Knight clones like Nine Souls and Bow Path of the Teal Lotus. So it's like, we're slowly getting into it. Some games that are embracing the Hollow Knight aspect and doing it well. It's still no Silksong, but it's like,
It's something.
eventually we'll probably just forget about Silksong as well.
It'll come out someday. They're just they don't need the money right now, and nobody's forcing them to publish it immediately. So they're like, I will make the best game we can.
Maybe. I
it has to be.
I don't think the Team Cherry has ever done anything else other than Hollow Knight.
Right. But I think, but like similarly, I think for Shovel Knight, that is like a hard transition. Like, well, what else are y'all gonna do? Like, Shovel Knight's over 10 years old at this point. It came out 2014, right?
Yeah.
11 years.
Came out in 2014, yeah.
It's great. I love Shovel Knight, and I think they've extended like the IP, but like I don't feel like there's much more for it other than like that was a really good game. And like, where do you go from there? And like, I clearly like they're like, we need an injection of cash, or to me, it feels like we need an injection of cash. We're gonna release like a remaster of the first game with like some deluxe.
Yeah,
rather than
excited
get
for it.
Mina the Hollow.
Going the Sony route.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like Mina the Hollow, where I looked at the Kickstarter was February 2022. It's been 3 years since that Kickstarter, which is crazy. And I'm sure it'll be good, but is it like that long of a wait good? I mean, but maybe 10 years from now we'll be doing a podcast on its fourth DLC. So maybe I'm entirely wrong.
This is why I can't follow games that are coming out. I just don't like. People get all so excited. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like,
I forgot that Mina the Hollower. I forget Mina the Hollower exists until we come on these podcasts. I literally.
Me too. I don't even think about it, and I just remember. Oh yeah, there's something to talk about. So I'm gonna.
I forget about it, and then I look at my Steam wish list, and I see it there.
Yeah.
And oh right, that thing exists, or it's supposed to exist at some point.
It's going to be a good game. I love Link's Awakening, and I love what this team does, and I think this team does a really good job with like character momentum and does like really good like as you said, like in terms of like the Nintendo training of like, here's a concept, let's iterate on it, let's teach you about it, and let's invert it, and let's keep throwing new things at you. Like, this is the fourth DLC, and I feel like they kept throwing new interesting, like, oh, that was fun, that was clever. I'm surprised by you. I am delighted. Several times I felt that way in King Knight, which is the fourth DLC or third DLC, fourth campaign of a Kickstarter game. Like, I think they did a really good job. I feel like this is still like they still have the magic here in King Knight. In King Knight, it felt like I've done this before. Is my biggest problem. It just felt like
it feels like, although his moveset is very different from Shovel Knight, you are kind of like treading familiar ground with him.
Yeah.
As opposed to like Spectre Knight, like you said, where you didn't have the hub. You didn't have the whole going through the map thing. It was just choose where you want to go. And it was do the deed, and that is done.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like Shovel and also Spectre Knight's like that weird one where like I didn't really like Plague Knight, and this feels like their first time like making like a real game since Shovel Knight. Like, it feels like a sequel, even though it's using the same backgrounds and music. Yeah. Like, it feels like a true sequel
because it's so different.
Knight. Yeah,
with the same. Yeah, I mean, like the Mega Man 4 concept that we've thrown around a few times. It's very much like that.
And Mega Man 4 is good. It's where you start getting to like 5 and 6, where you're like, oh, okay, I'm feeling
fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I just get tired.
And then how many Mega Man X's did you play on this show?
7. We're doing the last one.
No kidding. Y'all done that many of them? How are you feeling about those?
Oh God, 7 was one of the worst games I've ever played.
That's the 3D one, right?
Thank God. Yes, that is.
That game is fucking awful.
Pure garbage.
Like, oh my God, what did they do to my boy? Like,
you should probably play the demake. I think that there's it's either that one or 8. I think it's 8? Mega Man X8 that has a demake.
I heard 8 is actually good. So
8's okay. X8 is decent, especially compared to X7.
Because that one goes back to like a 2D platformer. I think.
It goes back to 2D, even though it kind of looks 3D, but it's 2D.
That style.
Yeah, and it is much faster because the main problem with X7 is that it's slow as fuck.
And long and hard. Like, enemies take forever to kill.
It's X7 is absolute garbage.
Burn to the ground. Burn to the ground.
Burn to the ground. Burn to the ground.
So
yeah.
Oh, and then you fight the Enchantress, and then you fight some other boss. I like the bosses in this game. I enjoyed all of them. I thought they were all pretty fun because there was a lot of unique boss fights, and not fighting the knights again.
Yeah, they were very interesting. The Bird King one was a little bit annoying.
I didn't mind
for me, but
I trapped him in a corner.
Interesting
He dies
strategy
quickly
there,
if you can
Carl.
keep jumping on him. I kind of just got him in a. I got lucky. I was able to keep hitting him, and he wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
But-
I can't. I don't have with King Knight. I just don't have the same ability as I had with like Shovel Knight, where I could just like pogo endlessly on someone.
No, it doesn't
Like,
work
with
as
King Knight,
well
it's
with King.
harder.
I felt like I was cheesing the game. I felt like I was cheating. Like it wasn't balanced right for King Knight. Sometimes I like those dragon guys, especially the ones like they're just kind of like chill there like a Pokemon. Not a Pokemon, like a Mega Man.
If you get all the abilities, the game.
Even
looks
then,
like
I'm just like I just pogo. I just bounce, crash, cha-cha, pop. Like charge, spin, charge, spin. I felt like I could cheese like a lot of the bosses. To the point where I'm like, this didn't feel like it was designed for these abilities. Like I felt like I was cheating at the game. But maybe that's me.
All right.
Maybe.
Anything else you guys want to say about this? Should we go to Shelf Stacker Box?
No.
I think I've got pretty much everything out of my system for Shovel Knight.
Yeah, we talked about the king hitting on the mom. That was the most important thing for me.
It is.
I really love that. That was just so.
It's cute.
Yeah, it was like whenever you came back and they were like maybe too close to each other, and they were like, "Oh, we weren't doing anything." Oh,
and then he's a complete asshole when he takes over too, and like real dick to his mother and the other king.
And it immediately just loses everything. Because as soon as he sits on that throne properly, Shovel Knight comes in and knocking, and it's like, time for you to go bye-bye.
I do kind of want to play Shovel Knight again, though. We might do an episode on that when that remaster thing comes out at some point. It might happen. Yeah, the DX version.
Yeah, we'll see when that releases because
I'll buy it right away, but we'll see after. Give me about a year or two, and my opinion might be like, I want to play.
Yeah,
but it won't be anytime too soon. I'm gonna need a break. All right, let's go to Shelf Stacker Box, and I'll go first since I'm losing my voice. I'm gonna put this in the stack. I had a good time. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I'm glad that I finally played it. I'm glad I got to experience this, and I'm glad it exists because it is a good game. And I would recommend this campaign to people. I would for sure. If you like Shovel Knight, I recommend this. Go on the stack. Vince.
Yeah, I'm pretty much at the exact same place. Like I would say it's a stack game. I would say that it's not great and there are better Shovel Knight options for you, but at the same time, like it's really good. And it's a good 2D platform. I think in a vacuum, it's a very good 2D platformer. And then it's just like, well, like there are better options to play. Like if you're gonna play a Shovel Knight style 2D platformer, play Spectre Knight, play Shovel Knight. Those I think that's what you do. But in a vacuum, like it's good. It's like if you have like a favorite TV show or a favorite movie, and there's like a third sequel that you're like, this one's not as good, but it's still fine. You still like hanging out with these characters.
Do you mean it's like a Star Trek Voyager?
Well, okay, yeah. I was gonna say more like a Fast and Furious 8 or 7. Like 5 is like the peak of it, and 6 is pretty good. But you're like, I'll throw on 7, I guess, or 8. In a pinch. It's not like egregiously terrible. It's not gonna upset me. Star Trek Beyond, maybe a good example. Like this is fine. It's not great. The third of the Chris Pine movies. Like that's
yeah, but in that case, Star Trek 1 is Shovel Knight, then Star Trek Into Darkness is Plague Knight, and then Beyond is like King Knight. There is no Spectre Knight.
There's no Spectre Knight one. Yeah, exactly. I met my wife at Star Trek 2009. That's how we met. We met in line. So I'm very fond of that movie. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
It was a good movie.
And then Into Darkness is a misfire. And then Beyond is like, this is totally fine and enjoyable. Why don't I like? And then you like, I don't love this that more. And then you forget about it. Like Idris Elba is the villain of a Star Trek movie, and you completely forget that's the thing that happened.
Forgot that movie existed.
Yeah, exactly, right? From a director of a Fast and Furious, man, there was some continuity, right? But that's okay.
Hey,
but that's how it is. The Star Trek Beyond,
Fast and Furious.
The Star Trek Beyond of Shovel Knight movies. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Okay.
Not terrible.
That's
There's better
comparison.
options, but also forgettable.
Emanuel.
Yeah, I agree completely with you guys. It's going in the stack. I think that we made our point very clear that it's not a bad game. It's a good game, and like Vince said, in a vacuum, it would probably be a really good game. But it's just that when you compare it to two previous Shovel Knight versions, like the original Shovel Knight and Spectre Knight, it's like it's not on the same level as those two. And I would much rather, if I'm going to replay the games, I would much rather replay the original Shovel Knight and Spectre Knight than King Knight.
I agree. I think that's
Okay.
a very accurate point.
Yeah. So yeah, it's stacked.
All right. And I guess we should just go to plugs then. And Vincent, where can we find you at?
You can find me at the Some of My Friends Read Comics podcast. We're a podcast where we cover monumental comics that, we should have covered in the past or you should have read. So we've recently covered Batman Hush. We've covered in the past. We've also done the Long Halloween. We're about to be doing Secret Wars 2 because we've already done Secret Wars 1, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Mike was on our Super Metroid Nintendo Power Comics episode. Someday we might get to Starbucks 64. I'm not entirely sure.
Is there a comic for that too?
Yeah, they ran in Nintendo Power. Yeah, it's crazy. We also read the Mario Kun manga, which is insane. It has a trigger warning because there's the death of Mario's parent dies in the comic. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, Some of My Friends Read Comics, the podcast. Check that out.
Okay. And Emanuel.
Hey, twitch.tv/Commander Lionheart. Sometimes I stream. Sometimes.
I see you on there once in a great while. I'll see you when I go and get your link to post things. I'm like, oh, he did stream at some point.
Yeah, if I get motivated enough, work isn't holding me back and all that,
I get that 100%.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
And one last thing I do want to say, though I don't want to say on air. So, Manuel, I took your advice and I bought my son the Spyro games, the trilogy for Switch.
Nice. Very good.
And I called him up. I'm like, hey, what'd you think? He's like, they're fun. I'm like, good. I'm like, you'll enjoy them. So.
Yay. I'm so proud of you.
And it's because you got me to play Spyro 2 when I went, yeah, I should buy it. I'm like, it was $20 at Walmart. Like, I should buy this for my son. I think I haven't got him a game for a little bit. So, okay. And then
it's a great game.
They are. And if you enjoyed all our Shovel Knight and you haven't listened to anything, and you be a link in the show notes to our Shovel Knight episodes. We have over 750 other episodes of this podcast. We do movies, video games, comics, TV shows, all sorts of content. Huge library. Just definitely go check it out. You can search for things right on Podbean. You never know what you're going to find. You never know what we covered. We cover lots and lots of things. So try it and find out. If you want to support, should we do a Patreon? Little dog vote in our Patreon polls. We have 1 to 2 polls a month. Lately, 2 polls. But great way to support the show and make stuff happen on the show. If you want to be on the show, if you want to chat with us, you want to suggest things that will someday be on the show, join the Discord. You'll see a link in the show notes to that. I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena. You can follow her at HellHatFury on TikTok and Instagram. Definitely go check her out. And check out a Gamer Looks at 40 with Bill Tucker. You'll see a link to the show notes, to everything we just mentioned. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, but only. And rate and review for Get Your Podcast. That's everything I need to say. We will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Feel thy shovel.
Bye.